утром 24 января по московскому времени был совершен террористический акт, в результате которого в районе Белгородской области был сбит российский транспортный самолет Ил-76, который выполнял рейс по перевозке из Подмосковья в Белгород 65 военнослужащих вооруженных сил Украины, которых сопровождали 3 российских офицера и экипаж в составе 6 человек. Все они погибли. Украинских военнопленных везли в Белгородскую область для того, чтобы осуществить очередной обмен, согласованный между Москвой и Киевом. Вместо того, чтобы этот обмен состоялся, украинская сторона из района Харьковской области нанесла зенитными ракетами удар по этому самолету, который стал фатальным. Мы запросили уже где-то около часа-полутора назад срочное заседание Совета Безопасности ООН в 15:00 по нью-йоркскому времени. И очень рассчитываем, что французское председательство добросовестно выполнит свои обязанности и назначит такое заседание как можно скорее. О сбитом военно-транспортном самолете Ил-76 и о причинах, по которым украинская сторона этот преступный акт совершила, мы сейчас устанавливаем факты. Первые сообщения, которые прошли, заключались в том, что тут же, после того, как самолет разбился, после обстрела из зенитных орудий, украинская сторона заявила о своей очередной победе, об очередной победе доблестных вооруженных сил Украины.
When you blackmail, in fact, the other 26, it's difficult. I know Viktor Orban well. I know him by knowing that it won't be easy to convince him.
Peace remains the only way to end this human tragedy and suffering that has engulfed Israelis and Palestinians once and for all. First and foremost, we are all very much seized of the continuing situation and humanitarian suffering of innocent Palestinians in Gaza. And therefore, the United Kingdom is now clear that we need an immediate humanitarian pause leading to a sustainable ceasefire in Gaza. For our part, the United Kingdom is working with partners to help build a plan to move from that humanitarian agreements that we see allowing those pauses to become a sustainable, permanent ceasefire without a return to hostilities. What would this mean? Well, such a plan would require that Hamas agree to the release of all hostages. Secondly, that Hamas no longer be in charge of Gaza, and the threat from Hamas terror and rocket attacks would have to end. Equally important is that there would be an agreement in place for the Palestinian Authority to return to Gaza in order to provide governance, services, and increasingly security. Equally important is that we now see a real commitment from all countries towards the delivery of the two-state solution. It is our view, and I know it's a view shared by many, that this conflict must not go on for a moment longer than necessary. So I'm here today in this important open debate as the United Kingdom's Minister of State, but also with the Minister of State for responsibility for the Middle East, to ensure that we once again underline our support for the vision turning into a reality of a two-state solution. And that will be the only way we will see lasting peace in the Middle East.
You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now, three. We win it every time. We win the primary, we win the generals, we've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important.
What we saw tonight is America first defeating America last. That's what we saw tonight.
I want to congratulate Donald Trump on his victory tonight. He earned it. and I want to acknowledge that. They're falling all over themselves, saying this race is over. Well, I have news for all of them. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go. And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina.
I think one of the really important things for any Canadian government is to continue to work constructively with whatever American administration is in place. There's no question that we made it through the challenges represented by the Trump administration 7 years ago for 4 years, where we put forward the fact that Canada and the US do best when we do it together, when we're well integrated, when we recognize the prosperity that's created on both sides of the border. That's going to continue to be our approach. Obviously, Mr. Trump represents a certain amount of unpredictability, but we will make sure we're pulling together and preparing for whatever eventualities. We've also talked a lot about the American elections coming up. Canada-US relations are fundamental for the prosperity, well-being of Canadians. We know this is an important election year for the US, so we'll be hearing shortly from a panel of experts on Canada-US relations and making sure that we're ready for whatever Americans decide in this coming November. What worked best and what works with all American presidents is to demonstrate that what is good for Canada is also good for the United States and vice versa. That the integration of our economies, that the partnerships we have in so many different areas end up being beneficial on both sides of the border. And obviously, the three presidents I've dealt with have all had different perspectives and different approaches on it, but the Canadian approach is the same. It's standing up for Canadian values and Canadian interests, looking for win-win situations, and demonstrating that we can and will continue to work together to create prosperity right across the continent.
On security, which we also discussed at some length, the United States is determined to be and remain a strong security partner for Nigeria. I want to extend the condolences of the American people to all Nigerians who were affected by the horrific attacks over the Christmas weekend. We mourn their loss and all killed in recent attacks, including, by the way, staff from our United States mission, locally employed staff and 4 police officers who were killed in Anambra last May. As I told the President and the Foreign Minister, the United States will support Nigeria as it works to bring about a more secure, a more peaceful, and a more prosperous future for its people. Nigeria offers real, clear, compelling opportunities for investors. At the same time, I think it's no secret that there remain some long-term challenges that need to be overcome to really unlock the full potential. Tackling corruption, making it easier for foreign companies to repatriate capital, these will all pull in a transformative direction and pull in transformative direction, investment. And with regard to Gaza, we've been very clear our opposition to the forced displacement of people. We've been very clear about maintaining, in effect, the territorial integrity of Gaza, which is what you've alluded to, and a number of other critical principles, including Palestinian governance of Gaza, reunified with the West Bank, etc.
Apeluję do pana ministra, do prokuratora generalnego o natychmiastowe procedowanie w tej sprawie dalej, ponieważ w trybie natychmiastowym odsyłamy dokumenty do wykonania do ministra sprawiedliwości, do prokuratora generalnego. Apeluję o natychmiastowe wykonanie postanowienia prezydenta Rzeczypospolitej i natychmiastowe w związku z tym zwolnienie obydwu panów ministrów z zakładu karnego. Mimo moich apeli, mimo coraz trudniejszej sytuacji zdrowotnej, w jakiej znalazł się pan minister Mariusz Kamiński, mimo trwającego strajku głodowego, mimo hospitalizacji pana ministra Mariusza Kamińskiego, Adam Bodnar tego nie zrobił.
今天，中岛关系翻开了新的一页。我和安格宾外长刚刚签署了中华人民共和国和瑙鲁共和国关于恢复外交关系的联合公报。公报载明，瑙鲁承认世界上只有一个中国，中华人民共和国政府是代表全中国的唯一合法政府，台湾是中国领土不可分割的一部分。
Alors on a plusieurs défis, nous le savons, pour l'organisation. Le premier, c'est celui de la sécurité. La menace terroriste est là, présente, toujours sur le sol français. C'est un défi immense. Je veux ici saluer l'engagement du ministre de l'Intérieur et sous son égide du préfet de police et de tous les services.